How did you get on WWE's radar?
I had Dory, through Dory. Funny enough, we were in Florida, and Dory had some sort of arrangement with this English family, and they would put up the money for Dory's local TV show in Ocala, which was called like Bang TV or something. And they had a son who dreamed of being in WWF, and his name was Adam Windsor. Rest in peace as well. I just had recently found out that he passed away last year, or possibly the year before, and that was very shocking because we're about the same age. But he was another one of those ones that was in all the magazines. Adam Windsor, the Royal Stud, Adam Windsor. And I eventually met Adam. We became friends, and we teamed together, and we had won tag belts at Wildside. I mean, we had done some stuff through Dory. Dory was always, everything that Dory did kind of revolved around this pet project of his, Adam Windsor. And the kid was like 160 pounds, 70 pounds naturally, but they had ballooned him up to like 240. Because Dory's wife, Marty, was of the mindset that cruiserweights don't draw money. And there's some truth to that when she was, the times that she was talking about. So she always tried to get everyone to become a heavyweight. And so long story short, they had set up an agreement because from what I understand, Dory was the trainer at Trax in Connecticut early on.
Right.
Early on, he was one of the trainers, right? From what I understand. And so he had a really, he had a solid working relationship with them. But anyways, they were coming to Florida, and we were going to do the loop, which I think was like in no particular order. I think it was like Jacksonville, Lakeland, Fort Myers. And then he was going to put his, like, one of the better students in the ring with Adam Windsor, who was getting a look on each house show. So Adam had like 3 or 4 looks against a different person from the school. And this is on a WWF house show. WWF. I can happily say I worked for WWF. So I just happened to be the last kind of lamb for slaughter, the last test subject. And I had witnessed what the other students had done or not done that kind of either ingratiated them to the locker room, got them points, got them heat, all these things, right? And I was kind of observing all this. So by the time we had our match, and it was like the last of the loop, you could tell who a heel was. You could tell who the face was. There was a story being told instead of just like, I'll do some stuff to you, you do some stuff to me, back and forth, which is so common. But I thought, why don't I be a heel? Let me take control of this match. And we went out there, and it wasn't like a great match or anything. Like the finish especially was like, because he had to get in that super kick. But that's what put me on the radar, funny enough. And so when I got back to Texas for that loop, I had heard that WWF was coming to Texas, and there was a loop going around. And did I know about it? I was like, funny enough, I didn't know. Again, this is pre-internet. So I had a contact for Kevin Kelly, and I had reached out to him, and he told me, we're full, we don't need any more guys for the loop and all this, but thanks anyways. You're getting close to being on the radar. I just want to let you know, we had some good notes from you from that house show you did. I was like, oh my God, they remembered that. So come the day that they were in Austin, which was like maybe 2 days later, I was supposed to work at Old Navy. I was working at Old Navy at the time, but I was supposed to go in and go to work. And I was just so distraught from not getting, I was like, they're downtown right now. Like, I should be there. And I was so upset that I was like, screw Old Navy. I'm not going into work today. This sucks. Life's over, And I got that unavailable call, when later on you realize this is the office, or this is Connecticut calling me. But at the time I didn't know that. I thought it was Old Navy calling me. So they were like, he goes, is Paul London there? I said, may I ask who's asking? You know, because I was just covering my bases, making sure it wasn't like the head of Old Navy or something. I don't know, who the hell knows. And he just says, "Are you kayfabing me, Paul?" And when I realized it was, I was like, "Oh, no, 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 no." He was like, "Guess what? They actually need you. So get your stuff and head down there." So I like put on my best clothes. I raced down to the Frank Irwin Center in Austin, and that's kind of how that started, because I mean, luck really in that regard. But I was ready, and I got down there, and I was trying to just meet everybody and you know, use my locker room etiquette and be respectful and stay out of the way, and just all these things that you would think, you know. And Tony Gurria comes up to me and goes, "Oh, you must be in London." I said, "Yes, sir." You know, and he goes, "Got you with Perry Saturn." And I thought, oh fuck, like Perry's the guy in the news. I knew definitely who Perry Saturn was, of course, but I was like, the only reason people have been talking about Perry recently was because he was stiffing all these guys that he was getting in the ring with, right?
Right.
Rest in peace again, Mike Bell. That was kind of the start of it, was his match with Mike Bell. There was some miscommunication. He threw Mike Bell out of the ring, and Mike fell funny, and it just became disastrous. And then Perry kind of got this reputation for beating up the local guys. And so I was just like, I'm in there with Perry Saturn. Awesome. It's great. My life's over. So I went and changed real quick. And as I'm walking towards the ring area in the back, Perry comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, I think we're working together. You want to go out to the ring and talk over some stuff?" And I don't know what I was thinking, but I thought, I'm going to go into catering and grab a bite real quick, but I'll meet you out there. And he just looked at me. He goes, "All right. All right." And he walks off, and I thought, "What are you thinking, you idiot? Like, oh my God, you need it. What?" And so I ran in, just grabbed a quick bite, ran out to ringside, and just made myself available for him, right? And it wasn't until we started talking over the mask, he was like, "Yeah, if I do this like dragon suplex and are you cool with that?" I was like, "Yep." "Are you cool with this?" "Yep." "Are you cool with this?" "Yep." "Whatever you do, you cool with this?" "Yep." And he was kind of surprised, you know. And I think I do know that match, it was for Jacked Metal, but that is what fully put me on the radar. It was a surreal experience. And it's on YouTube. That match is on YouTube.
We'll check it out for sure.
Yeah. Perry Saturn gave me a ton of offense, and I delivered. And so when we got to the back, he was like, "Oh, okay, that was great. Thanks so much," and all this stuff. And I kept hearing these voices in the shadows. I was like, "Is Perry happy? Is Perry in a good mood? Who did he work with? What happened?" Like everyone was shocked. And Paul Heyman's running up and down the hallway. He's like, "Who trained this kid? Where did you come from? Where did you come?" And I'm sitting here like, this is wild. Like, what is happening? Right? He's like, "Sign this kid. Someone sign this kid immediately." He's like, "Where did you come from?" All this stuff. And I didn't get signed right up the bat. So for people thinking like, "Oh my God, this is a fairy tale," like, yes, in a way, the reactions couldn't have been better. The feedback couldn't have been better. But I didn't get signed probably for like another year and a half later, but I was certainly on their radar. And funny enough, that coming weekend, or that coming Thursday, this was like on a Monday, that Thursday they did Smackdown Live in San Antonio. And so me and my buddy went down there. You remember Michael Shane?
Of course.
And yeah, so we went down there to try and get more, and they were like, "Well, your match is going to air this weekend, so we don't want to put you in another match, but we have this other spot for you, and we'll put this Adidas hat on you and this kind of bootleg Stone Cold t-shirt, and you're going to be a fan, and you're going to be a plant in the crowd for this Undertaker Ric Flair feud, and Flair's going to punch you, and you're going to get Flair arrested." And I thought, like, that's even better. Like, this is awesome. Like live Smackdown, and I get to get Flair arrested, which is also on YouTube. So if you see the lead in for like the WrestleMania 18 feud, that's part of the, like, let's see what led to this big match. Like, let's see the events that led up to this. And sure enough, one of those is babyface Ric Flair punching at Taker, who moves, and he decks me, and I get taken away, and then they come back live, and I'm with the cops, and they told me, don't say Ric Flair. And I thought, what kind of wrestling fan am I if I don't know it's Ric Flair that punched me? I'm like, are you kidding me? The wheeling, dealing, jet setting Playboy guy who's rich, like, it was Ric Flair. They were like, no, don't say that guy, that man. And I just, if I see it, it's so stupid, because I'm like, that guy, him, that man, he's the one that hit me. Like, are you kidding? How would I not know it's Ric Flair?
Wow, that's hilarious.
So, yeah, that's a long, drawn out answer to your question, but ultimately it was that house show that put me on the map. And then, otherwise Kevin probably wouldn't have taken my call. But I remember Kevin telling me, he's like, get to the gym more, get tan, try to look more like a star. And I didn't understand what that meant. I was like, I don't know. And the girl I was dating at the time, I told her that, and she like bought me some Oakleys and a tanning package or something. And it's kind of how it started, I guess, in terms of all the cosmetics. That was a Dory Funk term, cosmetically appealing. You need to be cosmetically appealing, which I didn't know what the hell that meant.
Shout out to Kevin Kelly. He's been on the show.
Kevin's great.
Great guy. Love him.
I love Kevin. Just such a great guy. Great guy. So knowledgeable. I mean, I owe it all. I mean, him and Dr. Tom Pritchard, especially, those two. Because then later on, when it came to actually talking with them about the possibility of signing, I had gone to Japan. I had done like TNA stuff. I'd done like the Ring of Honor stuff. I actually worked. I came back from a Japanese tour and worked a TNA. This is when they were in Nashville at the fairgrounds. I never went to TNA in Orlando. Never, ever went. All my TNA work was in Nashville at the fairgrounds. But I did TNA on a Wednesday. I did a WWF dark matches or something. I did that on like a Monday, TNA on a Wednesday, and a Ring of Honor on like a Friday. Like, I did all three in a week. And I was wrestler of the week in the Mark Mags,
So you got that going for you.
That's right. That's right. I still carry that magazine around.
You can never take that away from you, Paul.
No. They're like, you want me to put over who? Let me show you guys this 2002 edition of The Wrestler. Okay. What does that say right there? Yeah, Wrestler of the Week. I'm not putting over anybody, right? So